Roll the clip!
Did you study for that test yet tomorrow?
We have a test tomorrow?
Yeah, I was studying all day before I came here.
You know what? I'll just study right now.
I don't think that, okay. We need this test to see if JT studying in a hot tub will help improve his poor test grades. I predict studying in a hot tub will produce a lower score than studying in a classroom environment. This is JT's test score when studying in a classroom environment. Not too bad. And this is JT's score when studying in a hot tub.
Scientific method is widely used by psychologists to remove bias and error while measuring data. To help with the control and validity of experiments, researchers try to limit the amount of confounding variables that are present in the study. In Ryan's experiment, confounding variables could have been how tired JT was after his baseball game, how hard the test was, or how early it was, because they could have had an external impact on his bad score. Representative samples and operational definitions are essential parts of an experiment, because they create a definition of the variables being measured and ensure there is no outstanding bias in the participants in particular experiments. Most studies wouldn't be reliable without them.
Roll the clip!
I love Wendy's. The 4 for 4 is the best deal out there.
No way. McDonald's McPick 2 is an even better deal.
I'm going to have to go with Ryan on this one. We should do a Twitter poll to see whether people like McDonald's or Wendy's fast food better.
That's a great idea, May.
And we're back with our results from the Twitter poll!
Surveys typically consist of a series of questions about whatever a researcher is studying and trying to gather information on. They're very efficient in collecting information because they can be sent out to a vast amount of people via the internet, telephone, or questionnaire. In order to acquire accurate data from the desired group, a representative sample is used because it's a group of participants selected from a larger population that closely matches the characteristics of the population as a whole. The screw you effect, courtesy bias, and the wording of questions can all potentially skew the data in ways that can affect validity.
Roll the clip!
So many nice nuts. This one's perfect.
Ryan, listen. About your nut. I think you should get it checked out.
Yeah, Ryan. Your nut's really messed up. I'm gonna need to see him at least 3 times a day for the rest of his life. Oh my. You've grown a lot. I'll still need to see you 3 times a week. Enter!
Hey, Doc. I brought Jimbo back.
Wowzer. That's one massive nut.
Case studies are a descriptive technique where individuals are studied in great detail, usually for long amounts of time. They are used to study rare occurrences and phenomena that need to be studied with tremendous detail. The fallback is that the information gained can't be applied to anything else because it is so specific to the unique case, and it is also susceptible to observer bias because it's typically a select few researchers assigned to the case.
Roll the clip!
This episode of Naked and Afraid, we'll see what pedestrians do when confronted with the wallet on the ground. Take 3. Oops.
Okay, Lamborghini Mercy. Yo, chick, she so thirsty.
Take 3.
Sir,
Me? Me? This is my wallet. Thank you, sir.
Naturalistic observations are used to observe behavior in subjects in their natural environment, unlike laboratory observations that create artificial situations. It can avoid the observer effect, which is the cause of unnatural behavior in a laboratory, because subjects do not know they're being watched. A drawback to this method is observer bias, which happens when the observer has a particular opinion about what they expect to see, which shapes their observations. Another downside is that they are almost impossible to replicate due to the unique characteristics of the particular surrounding at the time.
Roll the clap!
damn, I look good today.
Man, have you ever realized JT is wicked self-centered?
Yeah, he isn't even good at baseball and he doesn't even lift.
We should totally see how many times he looks at himself in the mirror in the bathroom.
Yeah, that would be fun.
You're beautiful. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. It's true.
Hey Jake, I don't know if you noticed, but when you were up there in the bathroom, you actually looked at yourself in the mirror 10 times. Laboratory observations. They're utilized when environmental factors need to be controlled, and the element of control is the main reason why the method is used. One major fallback is that the artificial environment could produce artificial behavior. Both animals and humans behave differently when in a laboratory opposed to being in the real world. These types of observations can lead to hypotheses that can be tested in experiments. Shout out Celtics, game 1 tonight. Let's go versus the Cavs, Eastern Conference Finals. You roll the clap!
Ryan, have you noticed that JD's been really moody lately?
Yeah, he was fine up until after lunch today.
Did he eat lunch?
No, he kind of just sit there and cried about his research paper the whole time.
Do you think he's grumpy because he didn't eat?
We should give him lunch Monday and Friday to see if it fixes his mood, okay?
Here's your lunch. Lunch for you, Swinny.
I don't have any money.
I do. Yay.
Researchers use correlations to measure relationships between two or more variables. They use their data to produce a number that represents their correlation coefficient, which represents the direction of the relationship and its strength. If the number is positive, both variables increase in the same direction, and if negative, the variables have an inverse relationship, as one goes in one direction and the second goes in the other. In Ryan's research, he found a positive relationship between hunger and moodiness in JT. If JT was hungry, he was moody, and if he wasn't hungry, he was happy and normal.
More that. You should do Burger King and more that.
Are you loving this?
Alright, let's go.
On this episode of Naked and Afraid, we're...
What are you doing, Ryan?
looking for my nuts.